Welcome in this fifth session, live session of history lecture. Uh, Last lecture we discussed about Aryan invasion theory, and now we are focusing over the situation of India, particularly around 3000 years ago. So the first important thing here that though I said that Aryan invention theory is having challenged that it is not true thing or now there is controversy, but still when we are discussing history we have to discuss with reference to Aryan invention theory only. So we are now assuming that Aryans have entered in India, but really the thing is that only Aryans are invader. Answer is no. According to anthropology scene, they say that there were people in India, they were called as ostrich people. They entered in India first. We don't know prior to that, but when history begins we trace out that the first invaders over India or Indian land, at that time India was not present, only land was present. So the first invaders there, they were ostrich people. After ostrich, when they settled out, another invaders arrived. They say that they arrived from Bolan Pass. I don't know how, but it is mentioned that from Bolan Pass these invaders arrived in India. They were called as Dravidians. In European language, there is word they are using as Druid. Most probably that is corrupted according to them as Dravid. So Dravidians entered from Bolan Pass. They settled out in Baluchistan territory, then onwards Indus Valley, and then they spread to the south of India. So like that there was spread of Dravidian people. Then onwards, the invader arrived. They were Aryans. They came from Khyber Pass. They were nomadic when they arrived in India. But soon they started spreading out in the Indus Valley. They called this region as Sapta Sindhu or Hapta Hindu. So that is the Sapta Sindhu region where Aryans settled first. They fetched war with Dravidians. Dravidians were settled people at that time. They were staying in the houses. They were having huge cities. They were destroyed by Aryans, and then Aryans occupied that area. Dravidians were taken to the other parts of India, particularly whatever present India is there, that, and whatever the today's Pakistan is there, in that territory, Aryans spread out initially. Then onwards, Aryans started spreading out in northern India. What theory says, I am saying. So, according to that, initially Aryans, when they arrived in India, their society was having only three classes. They were considered as Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. Shudra class was not there. But later on, when they entered in other parts of India, that is other than Indus Valley, they allowed the native people to mix with their community. And they were now called as Shudra. Say this something we can relate out how Britishers invaded India. At that time, if you are aware that in initial phases of Britishers invasion, all officers and everybody in their rule, they were Britishers only. Administrative system only Britishers, judiciary system only Britishers. Later on, they spread out their education, and then they accepted us. But see, initially Indian soldier was able to uh, get promotion up till brigadier post only. No further promotion was available for Indian soldier. Same way, our job was just to become clerk. That's all. After 1857 revolt, technically they said that yes, Indian may join civil services, that is empirical civil services, ICS. Today we are calling it as IAS. At that time it was called as ICS examination. So they were set out and Indians were allowed. But the criteria was maintained in such that it was very difficult for common Indian person to join these ICS services. Even if you are checking out Ilbert Bill, the Indian judge was given right to get trial of European versus Indian. But then the Britishers opposed and Ilbert Bill was taken back. So like that, many concepts are there. So on basis of that, or if you are able to get early Turki rule over India, particular after this Kutubuddin Aybak onwards, the rule. At that time, the administrator or whatever the officials, they must be Muslim. Yeah, it's true. But apart from that, that must be Turki Muslim. Indian Muslims, though having tremendous eligibility, were not allowed to be a part of their topmost administrative system. Chahalgami system was there at that time. This Chahalgami system, the 14 nobles, they were there, they were Turki Muslim noble. They were not allowing Indians to be a part. When Alauddin Khilji's uncle, that is Jalaluddin Khilji, accessed the throne, he was having opposed because he was of non-Turki origin. Then they proved that they were of Turki origin. Though now they were called as Afghans, but prior to that, 200 years they settled out in Afghanistan from Turkestan, and then only they were allowed to rule. So this is the something we are saying racial supremacy or something like that. We are getting evidences in history. On basis of that only, they say that Aryans must have originally three classes. The fourth class was joined in latter phase. That is when they annexed out Gangetic Valley. And that's why racial mixture is observed in that Gangetic Valley to very great extent. Whereas Dravidians were forced to move towards south part of India and they settled out in South India. That is the way they are able to answer why different cultures are developed in India, particularly Aryan culture or North Indian culture and South Indian culture differs to very great extent. Now, anyway, this is something they have given. Now, what was initial structure of this Aryan community? These Aryans were worshipper of natural deities. Indra, Varuna, Maruta, like that. Various natural deities were worshipped by these people. Rigved is not making reference of Lord Ganesha in the first shlok. Instead of that, it is mentioning about Agni, that is the fire deity. And this way we can find out the earlier form of Vedic people were something that was something different. The community was particularly based on entire village was considered as a single community, single family, and distribution of the whatever earnings in that family. So, like that initial structure was there. The chief of that village in Sanskrit it is called as Grama. So, the chief of that village was called as Gramini. This way, a local setup was developed. These Aryans, when they entered in India, they were particularly nomads. They were having cows. The cattle breeder category was there. Soon, they adopted civilized mode and they started developing their own kingdoms. And at that time, they developed public rule. They were particularly dominated by public rule that is called as Janapada. Jana means people. Janapada. So like that, Janapada were set out in northern Indian part. Whereas soon later, some of the Janapada united together. Or maybe possible one of the Janapada become mighty and annexed out other Janapada. And it was converted into Maha Janapada. That is great people's public republic, that state. So this is something happened. The establishment of Mahajanapada. Like that, some 16 Mahajanapada were present at time of Lord Buddha. It is mentioned in Buddhist literature that at time of Lord Buddha there were 16 Mahajanapada in India. But the question is that uh, do you have any name of this Mahajanapada? Answer is yes. But India was vast at that time. Right from Cambodia, Uttarakuru, it was also considered under Mahajanapada. So Cambodia, that is today we can say Bactria, Balkh or Balik, that is towards northwest part of Gandhar. That means towards northwest part of northwest Pakistan. That is the part Takshashila and Pushkalavati or Purushpur, Pushpapur, that means today's Peshawar. To the north of that, the territory was there that is called as Cambodia. then Peshawar, that is Gandhar, then onwards Kuru, then that is called as Shurasena. Like that, various Mahajanapada, Matsya, Bhadra, Madra, these are names where powerful kingdom was there in India at that time. The Mahajanapada evolved, that was Magadha. It is in present day Bihar and surrounding territory. A strong Mahajanapada was developed. Now, Western approach is always materialistic. What exactly I want to tell? That why Magad emerged out as great Mahajanapada? They say materialistic thing. Say, for example, in Indus Valley civilization, we are not getting evidences of use of iron or steel. We got use of copper, we got use of bronze, we got use of gold, and all these things, but iron evidences were not found. Even they say that in Indus Valley civilization, we got bones of animals used, cattle and everything, but we are not getting any bone of horse. Till 4,000 years ago, Amri is the place, that is today's Baluchistan of Pakistan, where we got evidences of domestication of horses. But Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, they were not having any evidences of use of horse. So they say that use of horse was controversy at that time, where we were aware of horse or not. Then another thing, steel or iron. Let me clarify what happened exactly. When we extract iron, if it is pure iron, it is called as iron. But little bit carbon is present in that iron, then we call it as steel. Pure iron is called as soft iron. It is of no practical use. But when we are adding out little bit carbon, it becomes steel, and then it possesses the property of hardness and all these things. And therefore, usually we called it as steel. But iron is also not wrong, because the amount of carbon in steel is very, very less. That is 0.2% onwards carbon is used in alloy. Let us start again. Why I am pointing out this all? Because Mughal Empire was having Chota Nagpur Plateau, where iron mines were found out. The meaning of that, Mughal were now having a new ore, that is iron. Say, if you compare the weapon made up of bronze and a weapon made up of steel, then steel weapon is more strong, having more strength than bronze weapon. And therefore they say that the weapon developed, and therefore Magad was able to establish dominancy over other Mahajanapada. Say, for example, there was a Mahajanapada, Kosala. Magad tried to annex it, but they were not able to get that. Ultimately, they managed to form matrimonial alliances with Kosala, because the news was that only single princess was there for that Kosal emperor, and by forming matrimonial alliances, they annexed out Kosal. Now, Avanti, that means present day Madhya Pradesh area, their capital was Ujjain. Avanti was fighting out with Magad for longer time, but Magad managed to conquer that also. Shakya kingdom was there. Shakya kingdom means present day Nepal, the birthplace or say capital of Lord Buddha's father, that is Kapilavastu. So from that they were ruling out, they were called as Shakya kingdom. That was also having threat from Magad. And like that, Magad empire was expanding out. Various dynasties ruled over Magad. We are now focusing on the dynasty, as we discussed in earlier lecture, how to trace back Indian history. And for that purpose, we discussed that we have to go to birth of Lord Buddha, because his birth here is mentioned. And it was mentioned in Buddhist literature that at time of Lord Buddha, king or emperor Ajatashatru was ruling over Magadha. And then he killed his father, named as Bimbisara. Don't get confused with another king in history named as Bindusara. only little bit spelling difference is there. So Bimbisara was Haryanka dynasty ruler, the known ruler in the Magad kingdom, the first known ruler in the Magad kingdom. Now, actually, Magad kingdom, we are getting evidences in Mahabharata also. I'm giving evidence because when we observe NCRT books, they are giving references of Mahabharata also. And therefore, I'm giving that reference. If you are aware, uh, Jarasangha is name of king. He was from Magad, as mentioned in Mahabharata. Jarasandha was mighty king of Magad. So in Mahabharata also, Magad proved its mightiness. How mighty that Jarasandha was. Jarasandha attacked over Mathura. So, Magad is in Bihar. Mathura is in western part of UP. Uh, when we travel from Mumbai to Delhi, we are having a railway station as Mathura. And after Mathura, the main railway station is Delhi. So it is very close in vicinity of Delhi, not exactly, but very close to Delhi. So from Bihar to Delhi, almost he traveled. He attacked over Mathura and he defeated Lord Sri Krishna. If you are aware that from battlefield, Lord Sri Krishna left out, it is said that Jarasandha was having enmity with Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore Sri Krishna decided to left that battlefield. That's why Sri Krishna is also called as Ranchod Das, one of the name of Sri Krishna. And then Jarasandha returned back. Whereas Lord Sri Krishna came to Maharashtra, then went to Goa. There is mountain, it is mentioned in epic as Gomantaka Parvat, where Jarasandha attacked again. And then Sri Krishna set fire to that forest, and then Jarasandha's army was defeated. Then Lord Sri Krishna decided to settle over a Dwarka that is present day in Gujarat. If you check out the Gulf of Gulf of Kutch, on the south side of mouth of Gulf of Kutch, there is Dwarka. So Lord Sri Krishna now decided to set at Dwarka. This is the power of Jarasandha. Jarasandha was defeated only by Karna in the battle, whereas after that, Bhim, one of the great Pandav, killed him in the battle. Dvandva Yuddha. So like that, wrestling like something, so he was killed. But Magad Empire was having this existence in Mahabharata. Now we are switching over to again Magad Empire, Haryanka dynasty. So the known king is Bimbisar. He was killed by starvation by his own son Ajatashatru. After Haryanka, another dynasty set over that is called as Shishunaga dynasty. The general rebelled against the emperor and taken entire power in hand, that is called as Shishunaga dynasty. After a few years, history repeated and a dynasty set over Magad that is called as Nanda dynasty. Now I am having doubt that whether that name is Nanda or Ananda, the name of King Mahapadmananda. So that ending with Ananda. But if you search out that almost that kings were having ending name as Nanda, so this is called as Nanda dynasty. Just for a fun, you can go to Europe, find out at time of First World War, the what was the reason of that initial reason of that First World War, that emperor of Austria went to Bosnia. What was name of that Austrian prince? He was named as Archduke Ferdinand. Now write down Ferdinand and find out last four letter of that word. You'll find NAND. So should I call that as also Nanda dynasty? But anyway, this is called as Nanda dynasty. Now, they shifted capital of Magad Empire from Rajagraha to a newly constructed capital that is called as Pataliputra. So in the history, we are getting now capital of Magad as Pataliputra. Now this way, Magad Empire was set out. At time of Dhanananda, the last ruler of Nanda dynasty. At time of Dhanananda, it is said that Magad Empire was extended from river Bias in the west to eastern side, all Gangetic Valley. This is the vast empire of Magadha. Now, the process of building up empire was going on, as well as disintegration of empire was going on. In western parts of India, means today's Pakistan, the empire or that Mahajanapada was not persisted. They disintegrated into smaller kingdoms. This was a threat for India. The reason is that whenever we are in divided form, invader can take advantage of us. Let us go to invader first. So that is Pars, Persia at that time, where a dynasty was ruling that is called as Haqqani Dynasty. Greeks were not able to pronounce the word Haqqani. They pronounce as Achaemenid. And that's why this dynasty is called as Achaemenid Dynasty in English. But the actual name of that dynasty is Haqqani. Haqqani is not name of person. It is the meaning. Just you are aware now, Sanskrit to Prakrut. So it's corrupted as Ha. Now make Ha as Sa. You will find Sakhamani. And that is the real meaning of their dynasty's name. That is friend of mind. They were tolerant to all religions. They established their empire first in Iran, present day, that means Persia, and then onwards they started spreading out westward. They annexed out present day Iraq, then Syria, like that nation of Mesopotamia, the region of Mesopotamia. Same way, they entered in India through river Indus. Keep in mind, they didn't invade from Khyber Pass. They entered from mouth of river Indus. Their navy entered in India and they conquered Indus Valley part. Whereas, what is that conquered means exactly? They established their supremacy over kings in India. Now, Indian king was now called as Kshatrap, or in corrupted English, Satrap. In English, they are called as Satrap, Satrapids, or Kshatrap in Persian language. Most probably, Sanskrit word should be Kshetrapal, the owner of certain territory. That is Kshetra. Kshetra means you are aware the area. Pala, the one who take cares. So that the Kshetrapal may be corrupted in Persian as Kshatrap. So they appointed them as Kshatrap, whereas emperor was Persian empire. The name of Persian empire emperors were Cyrus, Darius, Xerxes. Like that names are given obviously in Persian literature. So we have to check whether that names are true or not, or maybe possible sounding something like that. As we discussed, the name may be Dhairyesh, Suryesh, may be possible, corrupted as Cyrus, Darius, or like Parsi people are calling him as Daryush. Now, if you are checking out this Cyrus name, try to recollect. This is Persian emperor. And now find out the names of nuclear reactor in India, particularly at BRC. In Mumbai, there is area that is called as BRC, where 4 reactors are there. If you are finding out name of these reactor, they are Apsara, Purnima, Zharlina, and Cyrus. So from where this Cyrus word is there, the name of Persian emperor. And now you'll find the father of nuclear program in India named Homi Jahangir Bhabha, a Zoroastrian person. Maybe possible some connectivity is there. I don't know the connectivity of giving name to Indian reactor as Cyrus, but the Cyrus the Great was really a great emperor. His empire was set out, that Haqqani Empire was set out from Indus Valley in India to Egypt, and they annexed out Anatolia region. Anatolia means Turkey, today's Turkey, Turkestan or Turkey. And from that, they entered in Constantinople and nearby areas of Macedonia. They were attacking constantly. So truly speaking, their empire was in Asia, in little bit parts of Europe, and in Africa. So intercontinental empire was set out by Persian people. Their capital was Persepolis. Again, this is Greek name, but the Persepolis was considered as world's best city at that time, where Persian dynasty, that Haqqani dynasty, was important thing that they were tolerant to all religions. They were not destroying the cultures of the existing people. They were allowing them to rule by their own king. Only they were collecting out tribute. That is the important thing. But truly speaking, very nice empire was set out. But towards European people, they were not that tolerant. They were making constant war with Greeks. And that's why Greek epics are always filled with the story of fight with Persian Empire. Surprised to know that when they annexed out Indus Valley part, as a Kshatrap or king's duty is there to fulfill the demand of emperor. Emperor demanded soldiers, and soldiers from India were given to Persian emperor. And then these Indian soldiers were involved in war on Greece at that time, according to one reference. I got this reference, so I'm telling here. So it is not Greeks invaded India first, it is Indians who reached to Greece first, but not by their own will, by the will of Haqqani emperor. And that's why, on behalf of Haqqani Emperor, Indians reached to Greece at that time. Now, the question is that this big empire was there. They have influenced Indians. Answer is yes, to great extent, obviously. The thing is that the script that is called as Kharoshtri script was introduced under influence of Persian people. Their rule was there in India, but not to that extent. Kings were free to do their what we can say internal freedom was there, like that things. Even it is said, according to one source, that Indian king Puru was was Zoroastrian person. I don't have evidence of this all. Now let us go to Persian Empire. Persians were having in constant war with Greece. Greece now at that time was newly developing nation. Around 2800 years ago, Greeks emerged out as empire, new culture, whereas they were having chain of philosophers. Say, in order to develop nation, only army is not required. Apart from army, thinkers, philosophers, all these people, they were required. The name of person, that is Socrates, a great thinker in Greeks. Always keep in mind that whatever I am telling, that is with reference to Greeks. So he was a great thinker in Greece. Then onwards, another philosopher that is named as Plato. Plato says that everything what you are going to do, that is zero. That was something new ideology developed by Plato. Plato was disciple of Socrates. Now, the Greeks were developing out, but the problem of Greece was that Greece was divided into smaller kingdom. They were called as small city states. Smyrna, Sparta, Athens, all these city states were there. To the north of this Greece island, why I'm saying island, because the land is not continuous one. Sea is penetrating inside, most probably during ice age. Lot of erosion work must have carried out over there, and that's why sea is penetrating inside the part. But according to this concept, the smaller states were there, and north of Greece was connected directly on mainland of Europe, where they were people. They were called as Macedonian people. In Arabic language, this area is called as Makdunia, whereas in English, that is called as Macedonia. That was also part of Greece. Today also, these people are not considering themselves as Greece. But actually, with our knowledge, it was part of Greece at that time. But they were having own identity as Macedonian. And then today also in map of Europe, you'll find the name, a nation named as Macedonia. which is just to the north of Greece. Anyway, so the Macedonian king Philippus, he decided that we had to unite. Again and again, Persians are attacking over their territories, and how to overcome this Persian attack. And for that purpose, he decided that unification of all these Greek states should be there. And for that purpose, he carried out war with all these Greek states. Every Greek state was having its own identity. For example, Sparta was considered as very good warriors are there from Sparta. Actually, according to Greek ideology, Greece is world's best region to live. Say this is everybody may say. Now I am from Mumbai. If you are asking the best place to live in world, my answer will be obviously Mumbai. If somebody is from Delhi, that person will say yes, Delhi is the best place to live. So the person, those who are staying in whatever that area, we have affinity with that area. And we are considering that our matching area will not find anywhere. According to Greek literature, whatever I am telling that is in the history that is given, they say that yes, the climatic condition in Greece, that is Mediterranean climate, which is considered as soft climate, will find very good temperature that is not going far below freezing as well as not too hot. That is the characteristic. Mountain ranges, yeah, they are there. Rainfall, very good rainfall, but not as heavy as in Mumbai. In a single day, 930 mm straight away. So that is the very high rainfall, but it is not there in Greece. Forest, yeah, but maximum trees are fruit bearing trees. So they were having very good food. They were having very good, what we can say, fruits to eat. Stone, yeah, marble was there. Then forest was there, hill was there, sea was there, and therefore they were developing out. It is said that the person who is staying in Greece, that is getting all the natural nourishment, and that's why they were healthy, they were mightier, and all that is mentioned that I am telling. Now, what happened exactly? Philippus annexed out these all states, and they formed United Greece. Prior to that, Greece was attacked constantly, either by this Persian empire or from Ukraine side. At that time, it was nomadic land. They were called as uh, Scythian people, or simply called as barbarians. So they were attacking and they were sacking out Greece. So because of this formation of Greek empire, they become now strong. Now scenario is reverse. As we explained that foreign invaders were attacking over Greece, but now when unification of Greece was there, scenario differs, and they started attacking over other parts. Say for example, there was death of Philippus. People, particularly today's historians, they are in having doubt. One group says that yes, it was accidental death, but according to another group, it was particularly planned assassination. And because of that planned assassination, Alexander, the son of Philippus, was having throne in hand. He was there in power. Philippus given him best education at his time. For his training and education, he was sent to world's one of the great philosopher named as Aristotle. Aristotle was disciple of Plato. You're aware now, Socrates, Plato, and now Aristotle. Aristotle decided to convert this king into world-class emperor. How? We are going to discuss in tomorrow's lecture. So be present at tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thanks for observing.